What is up, y'all? It is your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building for a brief recap of Growing Up Hip Hop, ATL. Basically, the episode starts off with Miss Deb still talking to Brandon, talking about how she needs to school him. You know, it wasn't a good look for him to be arguing with Reginae because, you know, he is way older than her. So that's pretty much what their scene was about. Next we got Bow Wow. He is in the ATL trying to set up something with Brandon. You know, he wants to hang out with his homies to kind of welcome himself back to the ATL. He has a studio session coming up with JD that he needs to get to as well. But yeah, he talks on the phone to Brandon, you know, letting him know he wants him to come out. Brandon says he don't want to go to the strip club because everybody got Lyme disease, and he wants him to know about the situation that popped off between him and Reginae. And Bow Wow told him, you know, Toya is very overprotective of her daughter, so, you know, you need to try to work this situation out, because this situation, you know, it could end up all bad. So next we got the girl Ayana, who is Brandon's cousin. She is on the phone trying to reach her girlfriend. And, you know, girlfriend is not picking up, and she ends up driving to her place. Okay, so next we have Brandon and Zonnique. They meet up, and basically Brandon is coming from a perspective like, in his confessional, he's just like, well, I hope that Zonnique don't feel like I should be the one to apologize for everything, because I'm not the only one that did something wrong. Her friend was wrong, and I'm mad at Zonnique, you know, because she didn't step in and say anything. And he told her to her face that she should have said that, hey, me and him already had a conversation about, you know, what's going on. And, you know, Reginae shouldn't have been involved. And I just feel like, I don't know, she's not going to check Reginae, because her and Reginae have been friends and they both see him as being rude. So, you know, I like Brandon though. I think he's a tell it like it is type person. He's very no nonsense, and he's not here for the bullshit. So that's just how Brandon is, and Zonnique should know how he is by now. But I don't know, honey. The way she acts, she act like she's surprised by everything he do, you know. But I just feel like there was nothing really she could tell Reginae, because Reginae is grown at the mouth. She gonna say and do whatever she want to do anyways. But he let Zonnique know he's not changing, he's not apologizing, he meant what he said, and that was that. So next we got Ayana. She's with her girlfriend, and you know, they're talking about how Ayana don't trust her and they don't really have the title. I don't understand what the hell is going on with them. Is that her girlfriend or not? It seemed like she wants the girl to be her girlfriend, and I don't know, I guess they have had a long distance relationship. Guess the girl is from New York or something. I don't understand, you guys, what is up with them. It just looks like Ayana is very insecure. You know, she really wants a title. She wants the girl to meet her father. The girl is talking about, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment. You know, you only want me to have male friends. You don't want me to have friends. And I guess she's implying female friends. So, I mean, you can't have a relationship without trust. So, I don't know why she's trying to be with this girl and she coming off like she don't trust her. Anyways, next you got Bow Wow. He's at the strip club trying to, I don't know, honey, I guess loosen up. I guess that's something for men to do before they go to the studio. That's something a lot of them do, but I guess that's what he's doing. And Bow Wow, your ass should be at the fucking studio with JD. Why are you at the damn strip club? Your priorities is messed up. You trying to take your career to the next level, but your ass is at the damn strip club. So anyways, he gets into the studio with JD finally, and he's fucking up on the song. He's mumbling the words, can't figure out what the hell he's saying and doing. And then JD ends up getting fed up and he pretty much walks out. So that's pretty much what happened with that. Then the girl, Shania, which is JD's daughter, and Ayana, they meet up because they're going to meet up with Zonnique and Reginae. So they all meet up at the bowling alley. And pretty much, soon as Shania come in there, Zonnique realizes that Shania invited Ayana so that her and Reginae could talk and possibly work things out, because Ayana was ready to pop Reginae in her mouth for talking all that stuff to Brandon and getting in his face. But anyway, she ends up talking to Reginae, letting her know, hey, I was about to pop off. I didn't like how you was all in my cousin's face, and you go get enough of getting in some man's face. Men will knock your ass out. You don't need to do that. And I'll knock you out too. She was pretty much letting her know, both of y'all was wrong. Y'all both was taking real low blows. And, it was wrong. Both of y'all was wrong, though. Whereas Reginae just sees herself as the victim. And Reginae, honey, you are not a victim. You was saying all type of stuff, talking about, oh, I don't know who you is and what you do. But the thing about it, the thing of it is, Reginae, you and your mom, y'all both was sitting up here saying, oh, well, what does Brandon do? I think Toya go say later on the episode, well, what is it that he do? Because I tried to Google him. Toya, aside from being Lil Wayne's baby mama, who are you? You had a baby by a hip-hop star. So, but who would you be without that title? You would be nobody too. So let's stop trying to act like we had this name before Lil Wayne, and we all know that you didn't. Reginae, that goes the same thing for you. You are nobody without your father's name. You know what I'm saying? So Reginae, in my opinion, she basically just comes off as, I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to say what I want to say because I'm Lil Wayne's daughter. And she needs to stop that shit. Because like Ayana said, people don't care about that. You getting smart, you talking shit. And I get you guys, she was trying to defend her father. And he shouldn't have brought the Black Lives Matter movement into it, the situation with Lil Wayne. But it was getting heated. And it's one of them things where all is fair in love and war. Well, ain't no love with them. But y'all know what I'm saying. When you're arguing with somebody, people will hit below the belt. And, they go say stuff to get to you, and it definitely did get to her. So next there's a scene it looked like with Tiny. Not necessarily a scene with them, but a phone call she makes to Bow Wow, letting Bow Wow know stuff needs to get straightened with Brandon because she don't like that he was talking to Zonnique and Reginae crazy. He didn't like that. Next, you got a scene with Deb is talking to Brandon, basically letting him know, you need to really talk to Zonnique. Let her know, you need to be tough on her. Let her know where you coming from. She don't have the right to waste your time. Brandon kind of feels like it's a waste of time because he feels like Zonnique has had everything handed to her. And I do kind of feel like that about Zonnique. Her and Reginae, they spoiled. They're not really used to working for stuff. And I know Zonnique was in a girl group, OMG Girls, and she did really good in the group. But if you're trying to be a solo star, you got to put the work in. And it just seemed like from the scenes that they showed of her working in the studio with him, it's like, she's just not focused. And you got to be focused if you claim you want to be a star. So next you have a scene with Bow Wow, JD, and Snoop. And basically, JD and Snoop is coming at Bow Wow like, listen, you need to get your shit together if you want to be taken seriously back in the music business. You are so far ahead of the guys that's out now. You was born into this. You was a child star, hip-hop star. So in order to get that back, you need to work on your image. You need to stop doing all this dumb shit that you doing. And they was coming at him, especially Snoop, giving him that fatherly advice. You sitting up here, you letting people catch up to you. There's a reason why you separated from the pack. And I always said that about Bow Wow. He is separated from the pack because he was a child hip-hop star, rap star. He was big when he was out. But the thing of it is, Bow Wow wants to fit in with everybody. So he's doing things that, in my opinion, may be outside his image. all this strip club stuff, and that's cool if that's who you are, but some of the stuff that Bow Wow does, it just don't seem like it's him. Now, of course, he's young, he's gonna hang out. I don't want to be real unrealistic and say that he should never hang out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he needs to, number one, figure out if you gonna be with your child's mother. Stop calling her your baby mama, because you made that comment, Bow Wow, like it was cute. Well, I got a baby mama, so that kind of means I'm grown. No. Y'all don't have that's not a title. That's not a respectable title. I'm not saying get married to her, but decide if you're going to be with her and really try to make your family work. That makes you stand out. There's a reason why there's a Will Smith. There's a LL Cool J. There's a Snoop Dogg. They married their women that they had children with. Or they might have been with that same woman for a long time. And that's what Snoop was trying to tell him, stay with one woman and be focused on that one woman. Don't be out here giving all your attention to all these hoes and, going in the wrong direction. So that's pretty much what they was trying to tell him to get him focused. Next, we got a scene with Brandon and Zonnique where he's basically asking her, what is it that you want to do in your career? Well, I want to do everything I want to do. And it was very funny that she could not get specific. You could tell she is all over the place. He's letting her know, hey, I don't want you wasting my time. And, at this point in the game, she basically is feeling emotional. Like, you know what? I always feel like I have to explain myself to you. She's crying. And Brandon is hard on her ass. He was like, them tears don't mean nothing to me. I don't care who your mother and your father is. You need to be focused. You need to work hard. And I just feel like he doesn't feel like Zonnique is ready and willing to put in the work. And so she ends up telling him, oh, I want Miss Deb to be my manager. Zonnique, sweetie, why do you want Deb to be your manager and you can't even handle her fucking son? And then, you know what, Brandon says, you know what, I'm going to set that up for you to meet with my mom. But guess who she's going to send you back to, Zonnique? She's going to send you to me when she realizes you need fucking vocal lessons. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened with that, you guys. Zonnique had ended up saying, oh, well, my mom, she has a lot going on. It's her fault, too. Stuff is messed up for me. It's my fault. And Brandon was asking her, well, why is your mom unorganized? And Tiny got all that shit going on with T.I., so she probably ain't got time to really get a girl the attention, that she needs as far as her music, because her and her group getting back together. So Zonnique does need a manager. I don't know if it should be Brandon, though, because they do butt heads. And I'm not going to sit up here and say, y'all, the way that Brandon talks to her all the time is cool. I am a big believer in being no nonsense, but I do feel like he could bring it down a notch or two. Maybe she'll get the message, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so next we got the scene with Toya and Tiny and Miss Deb, and basically they get ready to go up to the turkey drive that she's having. And Miss Deb is just letting them know once they all meet up with each other, she's just like, listen, your daughter, she was talking to Toya, your daughter was saying a lot of stuff and she provoked stuff, I talked to him, he knows he was wrong for arguing with a child. I don't do well with the disrespect. And so that's pretty much where Miss Deb was coming from. And then Tiny had jumped in saying that, well, what Reginae was doing, she was defending Zonnique because Brandon was going in on how Zonnique looked at her photo shoot. And he was saying a lot of mean and negative things. And that's what they was trying to tell Miss Deb. Miss Deb kind of cut Tiny off and made it look like it's just between her and Toya. When really I felt like she should talk to both of them because Zonnique is involved. It was at her photo shoot. Tiny is the one that brought Brandon into the situation, because he's working with her daughter. So Tiny has something to do with it just as much as Reginae does. So, they're going back and forth. And Deb had let her know, well, you not go be coming for me, Toya. You not go be getting up from under me. Whatever the hell she was saying. I didn't even know really what that meant. But I guess she was trying to say, well, she wasn't going to let Toya bothered her with the stuff that she was saying. And at this point, y'all, they're all just trying to defend their kids.